Welcome to the Toy Train Operating Society Southern Pacific Division Lionel Ambassador Club review of Lionel's pre-war inspired scale S2 freight train set, part number 6 or 7-84512. I say that because the corner of the box says 7, on the website it says 6. So what you get inside this really cool graphic box are some conventional Lionel boxes. And inside those boxes are a tin plate colored style set. So it's all scale, and the difference being is that it's got tin plate style bright colors and brass plates on the equipment. Locomotive is a legacy operated locomotive, and the cars are scale type cars. So without further ado, let's start up this engine and I'll bring it around and we'll take a look and see what we have here today. And by the way, for reference, this is the closest thing Lionel did in the post-war era to scale. It's not quite to scale, but with tin plate era, but yet modern. So, leaving that in the background, this little caboose, we're just going to swing over, and you'll see the bright green-orange engine in the background here. And we're going to start this engine up here. As you can see, since it's being an electric, it has a nice whirring sound. You've got an operator in the front. It's got legacy controls. It's got the legacy infrared sensor, so the track can trigger movement. It's got a nice accent on the dispatcher. So let's bring it around. Alright, so as you can see, being a scale locomotive, it's got all the doodads and all the items that would be associated with being a scale locomotive, all the rivets, but yet it's got the brass plates, the Lionel plating, everything, the plastic is colored a brass coloring to simulate what a pre-war engine would have possibly looked like had all this technology looped together. Legacy controls, so you got your Odyssey speed controls, you got your remote couplers front and rear, your headlights that switch back and forth. The pantographs are always vertical. The bell is really nifty. If you look, you'll see. I think that's just such a cool little feature. So if you ever see one of these locomotives and the bell's ringing constantly, it's because somebody's completely addicted to the moving bell at the top of the locomotive. And frankly, who could blame them? So let's bring this guy a little bit farther forward. There's the coal car, or the I guess gondola, for lack of a better term, that can come to my brain at the moment. That's one of the cars included in the set. The next freight car included in the set is a reefer, and again the reefer is scale sized. Oh, and just in case you're wondering, just for the sake of, it is going into a pre-war tunnel. Thought I'd swing the camera around and show you that. So again, scale, these actually have the coupler adapters where you could put scale couplers on them. I'm aware of that in the pre-war era people were experimenting with loads of different couplers, so I imagine you could do something to change out the couplers if you want. However, I'm not sure how the look would change, and if anybody has an idea if they would have used an equivalent KD coupler, you can always tag me back on the video and let me know. And let's move forward one more time. brings into focus the caboose. Caboose is lighted. And we're going to bring it forward. There we go. And you give you kind of an idea perspective of the scale size caboose versus the post-war tin plate caboose. That was one of the last tin plate styles that they made before they went to all plastic. All these items on the set are injection molded plastic. The locomotive is die cast. It's very, very heavy. It gives good pulling power. Wheeling it on the track, you have to pay a little bit of attention because you've got a bazillion wheels to put on, or it seems like it. Otherwise, overall, very nice set. I would say that the next time that you're into this, Lionel's going to make another set I see in the 2019 catalog. And keep asking them to make add-on cars. They may not do it right away, and I know a couple of friends of mine, they're looking into maybe experimenting and making some sort of add-on car and creating some brass plates. So as we do that, or if we do that in the future, then we'll add this onto the video. Let's back this puppy up. And again, full legacy controls. And yes, a tin plate engine style coming out of the tin plate tunnel. Who could ask for more? And yes, the bell works as it's moving anytime that bell's working. And you'll notice as it went through the infrared sensor track, the infrared sensor did trigger all those horn sounds and whistle sounds, along with the startup normal sounds that we put on. So we'll bring it back forward. And with the automatic sounds, once you get past a certain speed. And you'll see it sees the track, sees the engine. So what's the benefit of having the sensor track? Well, when I loaded this engine, all I had to do on the remote was put in the engine number that I wanted, and I put 91 as the number only because my roster's a little bit full. So anything in the combination of the numbers on the brass plate, I already had. So put in engine 91, you can label it TMCC control to get it started, run it over the sensor track, and it automatically updates the remote. So while there is a missing of the little key, the orange module, kind of like an ignition key that you collect on old cars or as souvenirs that Lionel does not include with these anymore. It's not necessary, and frankly, once you have a sensor track on your layout, you probably won't go back to using the orange module. You can still hand program it into the remote and key in different things. So once again, I like the aspects of this set. It's a fun little set. The only thing I wish is, Lionel, please make some more freight cars. And with that, this is Lionel's pre-war inspired scale S2 freight set, part number 7-84512, or if you look on the internet, 6-84512. I'm not sure why the box says 7. Maybe the box will be a collector's item someday. It retails for $9.99 at your local Lionel retailer. I know they didn't make a ton of these sets, and there are some still out there, so if you haven't made up your mind to get one, I would highly suggest to get out there and certainly do it. Being that this is the scale size, everybody looks at it and goes, my goodness, how small the engine looks. So that was my thought compared to some of the diesels you see in the background on my layout. But those diesels are pretty much scale size, so that gives you an idea of how compact an electric locomotive really is. And then when you look at some of the tin plate styles and how big they were, how massive they were, and to a little kid's imagination, how amazing a model train was and still is today. So with that, this is Jeff Meyer, and all I can say is that keep the boiler lit and the train orders ready. Thank you for watching our video and supporting the Southern Pacific Division of TTOS, and come back soon. Take care.